was trying to say is we're going back to who we naturally are. This rest that I talk about. That's the God aspect of us. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. This is what the Sabbath is. Sabbath means rest. Sabbath means completion. This rest with it, this completion within you, this perfection within you, within us. This what we have to tap into even when we're in this world. You stop worrying about let me tell you, it's our mind. The mind is the battlefield. Force your mind to be in the present moment. Whoever you listen to, everyone come to that same conclusion. The present moment is where you get your healing. It's where you get your blessing. It's where you get the joy. It's where you get the peace. And what is this present moment? It's the same thing we call the rest, the Sabbath rest. It's the same thing we call consciousness. And the goal is that when we must always go back to this place. Go back to this place. That's the goal. Stay in this place as much as you can, but when you can't, when the mind, our programmed mind, is all over the place and we're worried about this and we're worried about that, find your Sabbath, find your rest. Find your rest, find that inner God, find that inner aspect of you that your worry doesn't touch, sickness doesn't touch, lack doesn't touch. This is what all quantum physics they talk about, the present moment and observing and slit theory and all that. Because in their way of describing what this is, they have to put it in their scientific interpretation. So, our Sabbath, we have to find it on a daily basis. Our rest, our inner core, our inner God. That's the God aspect of us that we're made up of. And then this flesh that we see here is made up around that inner core, that inner rest. So hopefully when you see someone talk about the Sabbath, it's not necessarily mean a specific day. It doesn't necessarily mean a specific day. If you want to take a Saturday day to just sit down and be in your present moment, but me knowing the mind, the flesh, it doesn't matter what we do with the flesh, because we can be here and our mind is miles away. The Sabbath is just controlling the mind to be in the present moment. That's what the Sabbath does. You control your mind. The mind is where everything takes place. The mind is between the ego and our soul. And the ego is running this, is taking control in this materialized world. And listen, we can't get rid of our ego, but we can always keep it under subjection. We can't. The ego is part of us. It was given to us for this experience. But what our soul does, what that inner aspect of us, that God aspect of us, it's always impressing on the mind. Like, listen, I'm here. Listen, I'm here. But we're so distracted in this world by what our physical eyes is showing us and by everything going on around us that we're totally ignoring that inner inner aspect of us, that rest aspect of us, that higher self aspect of us, and just totally just thinking that, listen, this is all it is. Whatever I see in the mirror, that's what it is. I'm here to work 5 days a week, and I'm here to have children, be a wife, in the career and all that. And totally ignore the spiritual aspect of us, and totally ignore our soul trying to be like, wake up, hey, I'm here. And sometimes the soul make an imprint on the mind, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, and something happened, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I knew it. I knew it. You knew it because your soul is always trying to get the mind's attention, to listen to it. And the more you come into the knowledge of self, the more you understand who you are, then the ego dies. Not dies, but subdue. This is what Paul talks about the flesh. The ego that's what he's talking about. And when the Bible says, my hands is always stretched out, that's what he's talking about. It's the constant battle between the ego, this material world, and the God that we are. And we're in a time where we have to understand the ego has to be subdued, and our spirituality, our God self, has to come forward. There's no ifs and buts. This is the time we're in where so much energy is coming into the earth to wake us up, because the fallen ones that created this realm, the fallen ones have us in a state of ignorance, not knowing who we are. And another live, I'll go into the garden with Adam and Eve, because they were told how Eve allowed Adam to sin. We were told Eve, that's totally something different. Adam and Eve, Adam, we're all Adam. It's just that aspect of us, the God, we just to touch in it a little, we're all Adam. Adam is really atom. And when we came into this earth, the God aspect of us didn't come. It's still there, but we didn't come with our God, the aspect of us. That Eve, that feminine energy was taken out. So that's what that is. So a lot of stuff we have to relearn. And what I'm saying is what your higher self can tell you. If you ask your higher self is, listen, help me with this, show me this. Get into the habit and knowing that there's a divine aspect of yourself. There's a God aspect of yourself, all knowing. When you pray, you're praying to yourself, by the way. Whatever you get, when you pray, you're touching and touch that divine aspect of yourself. That's when things happens. Yourself is giving you everything. It's you. It's you. It's that higher aspect. And a couple nights ago, I had a dream that an aspect of ourselves live on every dimension you could think about. Let that sink in. An aspect of who you are live on every dimension. So you're here, aspect of yourself in this earth, unknowing. Then there's fourth dimension, aspect of yourself is there. There's a movie, Interstellar. Watch that movie. An aspect of you is on every dimension. That dimension, you worship Christ and you worship Jesus. An aspect of you is on that Christ that level. Yeah. So understand the Sabbath. I just wanted to do this as I just, TikTok allowed me to do lives a little bit with some restrictions. I guess I have to do so many before I can, or whatever. But I just think the universe, I didn't have a lot of following, so I don't know. So I thank the universe, I thank my higher self for this, to allow this to happen, because I was surprised when it says, oh, you could go live. I'm like, really? Yeah. So, yeah, so understand who you are. This Sabbath day, this physical Sabbath day, please understand who you are. You are a divine being, but this is not who you are. What you see in this world is just an aspect of you. It's just the lowest aspect of you. Because in other dimensions, everyone is with their God self. That feminine energy, that Eve, what they call it down here, Eve. It's just the feminine aspect of us. We were separated from that God aspect of us to incarnate in this world. That's what that separation is. And God took part of the ribs. It took the rib is the support. The rib is the support system of the body. Just imagine if your ribs were removed, the flesh will collapse. So it's like the backbone of the body was removed. It's everything. It's the God self. So that's why we're here struggling. That's why we don't know who we are. But it's the rise of the feminine energy. It's the rise of the feminine energy. And this is so important. It's the return of the God. It's the same thing. Return of the God, the rise of the feminine energy. It's the same thing. And feminine, and people I know I get a lot of comments on my channel. Feminine does not mean woman only. But women are more susceptible to that feminine energy. Women are naturally oracles. That's who we are. That's why they were burning them back in the day. We just connect because this realm is a feminine realm. So men are less susceptible. I said less, not that they can't. Those men who and they will. Men, you will see some men tapping into their feminine energy. Why you think women have testosterone, women have estrogen, men have estrogen, and men have testosterone? So we've been living in this world where men control everything. Men are in authority because it's the masculine. The man represents the masculine aspect of us. Even the women in this realm, as many of us have to tap into our masculinity more than our feminine energy, because this is how the world was set up. So when you hear the return of the gods, it's the return of the feminine aspect. And I don't see how you're gonna survive if you're not tapping into the feminine aspect of yourself. It's just coming in, and you can't ignore it. If you try to, I'm looking even at content creators. If you're only in your masculinity, you're going to be in low vibration. You're going to be in such a low vibration. I don't know how you're going to make it into the new earth that's coming. And I'm telling you, if you're a dreamer, you feel it, you see it. This world is, it's like it's just hanging on by a thread. It's too low. It's low. It's vibrating so low that pretty soon it has to be gone. Whatever is going on up there in politics, they all knew it. Our leaders know that this time the return of the gods is return of the feminine energy. And And let's look at the feminine energy for a little bit. What does that entails? We see in this world, everything has to be logical. Everything have to be makes sense. There's no look at our communities. Too much division. It's black, it's white, it's this, it's that, it's that. That's too much masculinity. If you're still doing that, you're still in your masculine. Everything you see here, the wars and all that. No, the churches that represents masculinity. Masculinity have that. In order for things to survive, think people must be separated. Feminine energy represents unity, togetherness, spirituality. And spirituality means you tapping into your inner self, to create what you want. Masculinity tells you you need money to buy whatever you want. You have to go to school to get a college degree to understand stuff. This feminine energy, you're all knowing. You're all knowing. You know everything. All you create, all you provide is all you use your inner God. Energy, inner God. You know, that's what this world is going into. And that's going to be the separation. Not between those who are rich and poor. It's those who are conscious of this and those who are not. And the thing about this, everyone's going to know, because there's not, money is going to be useless. You have to be able to use your God-given talents to survive, to create. We are creators. That's why we're here. And yes, question, does everyone have that divine higher self? As I read the other night, everyone doesn't have a higher self. Not everyone have a higher self. But I was listening to Pete Sapper maybe a couple months ago, and someone asked him this question, and I do not know if it's a fact, but people are here. There's people here who are trying to get a soul. It is trying to evolve enough to get a soul. So everyone on earth is there for a purpose. Those who don't have a soul and is trying to evolve enough to have a soul. So I'm not sure how you know if you have a soul, but if you read the Keys of Enoch, people who does not have a soul is connected to the earth, and the earth is helping you to evolve. If you're not dreaming, if you can't hear, if you don't have an inner voice, if you don't if you're not feeling the connection, that there's a divine aspect of yourself, that's probably that you do not have a soul or a higher self. But the goal is for you to evolve. You can evolve and get a soul. So make sure you're tuning into the earth. If this find you and you're out there and be like, oh, I don't dream, I don't have an inner monologue, I don't know. Make sure, because you only exist on this dimension. But you're here to evolve, connect with the hurt, spread love, spread goodness. Listen to your inner core, because you're connected to the earth. The earth is going to help you evolve. And if you're here and you have a soul, but you're totally ignoring it, these are the two people I say: those who don't have a soul and those who have a soul and totally ignoring their divine aspect of themselves. You're dreaming the dreams, you're hearing the voice, but because religion and this world has taught you, someone's gonna come and help me. You don't know that you are waiting for yourself. You're the one. No one's coming to help us because you have that God energy. You have everything you need within you to help yourself. That Christ they're talking about, it's that Christ consciousness who's been there. Why they say Christ is going to come now? Because the energy, the light is flowing into the earth. So people will be more aware of this Christ consciousness, this divine aspect of themselves. This rest. This rest. So, yeah, so this is my presentation today. Let me see how long I've been here. I only wanted to jump on for a little bit, as today's the Sabbath, and talk about this Sabbath rest. I'm trying to talk about stuff that I really don't see on TikTok. But people have to understand who we are. Our visions are so plain. If you're dreaming, please write your dreams down. Whatever you're feeling, don't ignore. There's a lot of good energy coming in, and I know, please, if this find you, don't hold on to this material world. Fleeting. It's fleeting. Whatever is going on in the White House, they have to do it. They have to do it. And I had a dream that you know, a lot of people is at the table with the president. So I think whatever is going on, and this is just my opinion, if you're spiritual, it's working, it's going to be all good for you. Don't see anything going on as negative, please. Remember, the mind is the battlefield. Make sure your mind is being in the present moment. We shouldn't be worrying about anything, I'm telling you. If you just let everything flow, let your higher self take care of everything. And only way you let your higher self takes care of everything, if you stop worrying, if you give it, and you don't have to say, oh, higher self, I give it to you, but you remain in your present moment. Don't be thinking about, I don't know, it's hard. Oh, the past is already gone. Don't think about yesterday. Don't think about what's coming tomorrow. Just be who you are. There's a scripture that I in the Bible about Mary. Was it Mary or Martha? All she did was sit at Jesus' feet. These things are parables. These are metaphors to help our ascension. The Bible is the biggest help to help us come into our Christ consciousness. It's the biggest help. So when the Bible tells us, oh, I think it's Martha. I'm not sure if it was Mary or Martha. Was all she did was sit at Jesus' feet. She was in arrest. She was in arrest because that's the only place she need to be. Listen, everything's gonna work out for me. My higher self is in control. All I have to do is experience it. Whatever I need, I just experience it. If I need a house, I think about it. I experience that house in my thoughts and my emotions. This is how we create. This is how we create. We don't create by our words in our mouth. No, our mouth. The Bible tells you your mouth is an open sepulcher. Your mouth says one thing and your mind says another. Our mind, our thoughts, and our emotions. That's how we create. That's how we're currently creating unconsciously. Because whatever is taking place in our lives, we're creating it unconsciously by our programming, by our past experience, by our fears. So that's why we're having the sickness. That's why we're having the lack, because it's based on what our awareness of who we are. But when you hear this message today and you understand the God that you are, and you understand the divine being that you are walking around this earth, and you know that with your thoughts and your emotions you create your reality. And my lady, she tell us, what's her name? She said, listen, it's always yes. There's no no to what you want. You are the God of your own universe. There's no no. So what you do is you sit down in your present moment and you imagine the house that you want. You imagine your healing that you want and experience it. See yourself healed. Whatever the Bible tell you, whatever you need, believe in and it shall be done. Don't get up and be like, oh, maybe. No. That's the gospel truth. That's the only thing that's going to get you your blessing. That's going to get you your healing. That's going to get your family together. And your family stays together depends on your energy that you're giving off. Don't be all negative in your house. Don't be talking about other people in your house, whether you're on live, whether you're on wherever you are. Have good energy in your home. If your marriage is not working, if your children aren't prosperous, stop being on TikTok and these social media platforms talking about other people, because it doesn't matter. If you hear me today and you talk about me, it doesn't affect me. If you want to be like, oh, this girl, this lady don't know what she's talking about, fine. But listen, that's only gonna, you could say whatever you want, but listen, it doesn't affect me, only affect you. So you're in your house talking about Trump, talking about Biden. It doesn't affect them, it affects you. That energy, that negative energy. That negative energy only affects you. Your brain, your mind doesn't know that you're talking about somebody else. These are the things we need to know, because we value the opinion of others so much. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what Mary or Martha or John or Leroy or anybody thinks. It doesn't matter. It's your mind. It's whatever in your mind. That's what's causing your illness. That's what's causing your disease. That's what's causing your lack. You are. There's someone, one of those gurus back then, he said, always say, I am responsible. If your feet hurt, I am responsible. If you don't have any money, I am responsible. If you're living on the street, I am responsible. You are the I am. Christ said, I am the way, I am the truth. Not that Christ, you Christ, you're the Christ. You are the I am. And how many people out there use that I am negatively? Oh, I am sick. You're telling yourself that you're sick. You're programming your subconscious to be sick. Don't ever use the I am with anything negative. I am rich. I am healed. I am blessed. I am wonderful. I am at peace. That's just programming your subconscious. So be mindful of these things as we go, because things are manifesting a little faster than usual. Yeah. So remember, when we talk about Sabbath, when we talk about the Sabbath, we're talking about the rest within you, at the core of who you are. There's a place of rest that your lack doesn't affect, that your sickness doesn't affect. It's pristine, it's perfect. Everything in this place is created for you to have to stay perfect. That even when you leave this earth, you leave in perfection. All right. So Sabbath is every time you can find that place. Every time you find that place, you find God, and it's within you. That's the kingdom of God that Christ talked about. All right. Okay. If you're watching, just if you could give this video a like, and I'm gonna leave it right here today. I would love to hear other people's opinion, but I don't know if they can comment based on TikTok rules for new accounts. But anyway, if you listened so far, I am grateful that you took your Saturday to listen to this presentation. So, all right, be blessed, everyone. Be blessed. Have a wonderful day. And remember, stay in your rest, stay in your present moment.